Hi everyone, good day and welcome to my channel. I am here to help to inspire you to live the life that you deserve, to live authentically from the heart, connected to the divine, highest self and source, living it each day, loving your life, to live your life with passion and a purpose and a reflection of your greatest potential. And so all I ask of people is to be open-minded to what I have to, the messages that I bring. And the first question I say to people, in the morning you should ask yourself, what is the greatest ideal of myself today? And then set that intention. And as you move through the day, keep that as a reminder of who you want to be and how you want to respond, react. And so I help to see through the illusions, move past the blocks so that you can live a life with purpose, fully present, choosing to speak, respond, and react from a place of love. Always aligned with your highest self, your highest intention, connected with spirit authentically. And so what I do is I look into the cards to see what messages that they have. I begin with the universal reading, and universally, if there's any blocks or burdens that we need to unlock to move us forward. And then I do pick a pile. So I'll have 3 piles. Pile number 1 is the blue stone. Pile number 2 is the brown stone. And pile number 3 is the pink stone. So just think about that while we're going through the universal messages. And so we begin with picking the cards. So the first card that I pick is the inner guidance system. And the message of the inner guidance system is that the best answers always come from a place of calm, radiant place within yourself, within me. And I wait for these with joy. And so that's not to rush it along. Just know that all the answers are within you. When you quiet yourself down and you truly look within your heart and your soul, connect with your inner guidance system. The more you live according to your own inner compass, the less concerned that you are about what others think of you. And then you are more at peace with your choices. I read a book when I was quite young, and it was, can't remember who it was by. It might have been by Louise Hay, but it was called What You Think About Me Is None of My Business. And it really, really had an impact on me. And understanding that I have a choice how to respond, how to reflect, how to choose. I am responsible for my life. So by being accountable to my life, I'm going to connect with my inner guidance system and just asking, what should I do now, or what path do I need to take if it's a choice? I had recently gone through a pretty rough period of, because I'd gone through a lot in my life in the last, say 7 or 8 years, I realized that when I was making a choice, it became very difficult for me. And I almost started to panic about it. And so once I realized that this was what was happening, I started doing more inner work and connecting with this inner guidance system and trusting it. And even if I did make a choice that wasn't perhaps the best choice, or a choice that somebody else might have made, it was my choice. And so I can be 100% accountable and responsible for that choice. So each day I get better and better at following my own inner guidance, and my choices improve over time. And it's really exciting to know that there is a reliable guidance system within each of us, following your own feelings and your intuition. And when you can rely on this every single day, every single moment, your life changes. Both positive and negative feelings are information from our inner guidance system, helping us to steer us in the right direction. If we have that feeling of fear, it's to stop and say, where is this fear coming from? And once you can connect with where the fear is coming from, understanding it better, you can make a decision from that place and say, you know what, that might have happened in the past, but it's not going to happen now because I'm wiser, hopefully. I'm wiser and I'm a different person. And so I am choosing now this path. So the first message is really about connecting with our inner guidance system. And the second card that comes up is the card of path awareness. And the affirmation that comes with this is that if I sincerely ask, I will always be guided to the right path for me and my central purpose. And so it's like keeping your eye on the prize. Understanding your path awareness comes from your third eye, and it's such a strong presence when you can connect with it. But we have to ask with sincerity. It has to be something that we truly want. And so when we do ask with sincerity, we will be brought back and returned to the path of our highest interest, returning with the knowledge and the wisdom that was gained from exploring the shadow sides of our own journey. And because we really do learn a whole lot from mistakes. We probably learn more from mistakes than from the really good things. But you can also send the intention of, from every experience that I have, what did I learn? And how can I move forward with that, whether good or bad? And then it's sort of like our side journeys, our detours and setbacks give us a broader perspective of useful information. So each time we return back to our true course, we return stronger and clearer and much more ready to live a peaceful life with ourselves, like within ourselves, and along our own chosen path. So the knowledge that we know within ourselves, that inner guidance system, that our path awareness is connected, go inside and ask yourself, and you'll know which path to take just by asking with sincerity. And then really get excited about the journey that's ahead for you. So the essence of this is about our inner guidance and our path, and what path that we want to choose. If we have to, or we're at a place where we need to, choose a new path. And this could even be within, say, if you're within a company and it's moving up the ladder, go within yourself and ask yourself, are you ready? Am I ready? What are the benefits? What are the, what might hold me back in another area? What is it I love to do? Just ask yourself with sincerity all those questions, and you'll be led on the right path. Okay, so the cards that reflect this are taken up from the Patch Tarot deck, and the first card is the Prince of Wands. So what that's really saying is that The Prince of Wands is someone that is extremely passionate. He is the envisioner, so he has this vision and he takes action. So this is so much about digging down deep within, discovering what your passion is, becoming really passionate about it, and then doing it. The wands are all about action and taking action on our thoughts and our words and our ideas. So the Prince of Wands has these great ideas. So the great ideas are within you. So it's time to take action on them. The next card, wow, okay, is the Queen of Wands. And the Queen of Wands herself is has learned so much along her journey. She as well is very passionate. She's passionate about, from a place of love, from a place of honesty and a place of truth, a place of connecting with the magic within herself. And so we've got the Prince and then the Queen. So this could actually be two separate people. You and a person in your life, a son, a partner that you work for, or your partner in life. And it's just together as a team, you have this incredible passion together. And so understanding that your ideas, like brainstorming, or your thoughts and ideas together are more powerful than apart. So it's a really good card. And the next card is the Nine of Wands. And so the Nine of Wands is a card of endurance. And so in that position that the Nine of Wands is in, it really says that there's going to be a connection between these two, the Prince and the Queen of Wands. And it's been a long journey to this place. And you've kept focus, you've kept your vision, you've kept your action. And so you have endured, and you have also succeeded and are ready for the next step. So I have the feeling that you're on this pathway, that you've set your intentions, you know where you want to go. If you've been blocked or stopped somewhere, it's in the action state. And so take action, start that now, make a list, priorities of all the things you need to do, and then go for it. You really have to, because it's time to go to the next level of within the relationship, or within the whether the relationships with work or at home or with a friend, but it's ready to move forward to the next step. Okay, so the next three cards, wow. And so this kind of really goes hand in hand with both of the inner guidance and the path awareness. And this is the card of existence. And it's from the Osho meditation deck. And really the card of existence shows us that home is not a physical place on the outside world, but rather an inner quality of relaxation and acceptance. So the people that we're talking about, this journey that you're on right now, it's time to just accept where you're at, accept perhaps this journey that you're on, and stop resisting it. And it seems that as human beings, we tend to forget, and that as we pursue our own private agendas, that we believe we must fight for what we want or we need. But ultimately, this is what separates us, because everybody has different wants and needs. So now is the time to look at whether you are allowing yourself to receive the extraordinarily gift of being at home within yourself, and that's of making the choices, that's the changes, and that's the, you know, the passion that you're bringing to it. Is this alive inside of me? This is my choice, because you've made these, you know, decisions, and you're asking yourself all these questions. So sit with that, knowing that you are on the right pathway. And so take some time to savor the moment so that it can deepen within you. The card of existence is a major arcana card. And so it's a reminder that you are not here by accident. The truth is existence needs you. It needs your gifts. It needs your passions. It needs your vitality. Whatever it is that you offer, you are here for a purpose. And so once you are clean and clear, you can see tremendous love falling upon you from all dimensions. So that's really an acceptance of taking the chances and making the movements and being really clear on what you want and where you're going, and knowing deep down within that you are on the right path. The next card is the card of postponement. Postponement. Well, that card rather speaks for itself as far as I'm concerned, and is so much about, you know what, sometimes we want to hold back, because even if it's success, some people are afraid of success, because once they become successful, they have no idea what's going to happen. So there is a fear within that, and so they kind of hold themselves back. All of these cards are saying it is time to move forward. And that's why I think the first card of existence is within here. And because that knowledge, that knowing, is that you are here for a reason. And it's a beautiful reason. And so existence does need you. So quit putting off what you need to do. It's time now to make the movement forward, to make that movement, to grab hold of that wand and just start moving. Just get going. I seem to have a lot of these cards, but anyways, the next card is the card of Beyond Illusion. And so what that asks, and it's tied into the card of the postponement, because the card of postponement is asking ourselves, why are we putting these things off? What am I afraid of? What, you know, what's stopping me? What's blocking me? And the card of Beyond Illusion says, look at your past experiences and see beyond just the mundane of what happened or what's going on, so that you're able to look for the lesson within this. Again, it's a major arcana card, so it's a major lesson. Everything is, because we're all energy, everything is as we see it. We personally see it. Everybody sees it differently. So this is for you to look at life differently, to see what was holding you back, to understand what was holding you back, to know it, and then to grab hold of that so that you can take that action, that passionate action that you want to take. Really realize that all that passion that's inside of you, that's just ready to explode, because it wants to move. It wants to move forward. It wants to go ahead. It wants to get past the 9 of Wands. It wants to break through. And so see the illusions that have stopped you, held you back, so that you can move forward. Okay, realizing that life is saying it's time for you to move on, move up, step on that gas. Okay, wow. And so the third card, within this, it's the fourth card, is the card of transformation. Another major arcana card. So there's a lot of real heavy duty stuff happening this weekend, even though it's only Thursday. So the card of transformation, it looks back at that card of beyond illusion, and it really starts to resonate within ourselves. We start to look at situations really differently, and like a totally different perspective than we did yesterday, the day before, a year ago. But we look at it really differently. We can see within that situation the role we played, the role other people played, and the whys and the hows. And so that starts changing how we see ourselves again. And from that, we start making different choices. We become more passionate, and we also see once we've realized what may have been blocking us or how that blocked us, and knowing that we're ready to move forward, transformation is just, I'm going to say, obvious. It's just the next step forward to transform, to take action. To me, it's a little bit like the Tower card. It's like you have to shake things up before they move forward. So a lot of people say you have to hit rock bottom before you climb up. I don't know if I so much believe that, because if we put it in our head, then we're going to believe it, and that's what's going to happen. But whatever it is that's going to transform you, your thought process, not the thought process of other people. So what is it about you that you have not seen, that you have not been aware of, that needs to be opened up so that you are able to transform yourself into that person, that being, that walk along the path, the journey, your soul's journey that's necessary right now. So if this is in regards to, I just keep getting these messages that this is in regards to a relationship for many people, and it's not going to be for everyone, but I'm getting that feeling that it is in regards to relationship. And so it's the prince and the queen, and the prince has so much energy, so he's just still making his I guess getting up enough courage in order to take that action, because he doesn't feel that he's quite on that same level, but yet their energies will match, because one is an envisioner and one holds the passion. So together you have the envisioner and the passion, so you've got it's like the full circle. So as you begin to see these sorts of things, there's a transformation that begins within ourselves, and takes us on a whole new journey that we weren't ready for, but we wanted, if that makes sense. Okay. Really, with transformation, the sword that is held in this card, it's the sword that cuts through all the illusions. And then the snake in the card rejuvenates itself by shedding its skin. And the broken chains of limitations and what held us back or held on to us no longer is going to exist. It's a time of deep letting go. And so there also may be in this time to allow for any pain, sorrow, or difficulty, just to be there. And then just letting it go. And when we do that and we're not hanging on to it, we really become enlightened. And it's like, well, it's in the past. There's nothing we can do. And so, I don't think I'm going to do that again. And so you start shedding off those skins. You become your true, authentic self being. And the card of transformation, it takes you from one almost dimension into another, if that makes any sense. It moves you fast and forward along your journey. There's just so much transformation that's happening because you're now being able to see past the illusions that kept you stuck in that place that you were before. So knowing what kept you stuck, and then, forgiving yourself, forgiving all that around, send it, the love, light, blessings, all of that, and start becoming you. My favorite card is a card of compromise. And so compromise is all about choice. And I actually have to see what exactly it says, because I really get excited when people get this card. I don't know if they get as excited as I do, but doesn't really matter. Because really what it's about is that compromise isn't, I guess we always think of compromise in terms of, well, you have to compromise. So what do I have to give up? And that's what we always think about, is that I have to give this up, or, I have to, eat crow, blah, 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 blah. That's not compromise. Compromise is about knowing exactly who you are, what your values are, where you're going, all of these things in your life, what you want to be. So knowing these values and your own truth, and not compromising on those things. You can compromise on other things, but not those things. It's one thing to meet another halfway, to understand a point of view in a different form, a different viewpoint, and to work towards a harmony of opposing forces. It's different than caving in and betraying our own truth. So if we look deeply into a situation, we usually find that we are trying to gain something. And so know what that is, whether it be power or the approval of others. And that kind of compromise usually leaves a bitter taste in our mouth, because we've compromised our truth. And so know fully what it is and who it is that you stand for, and that's where the transformation begins, because you've changed. So you're no longer relying on others to make decisions for you, or making decisions to make somebody happy that goes against your beliefs. Don't do those things. Don't do what really goes against who you are as a person. So compromise is about knowing your truth, your honesty, what fills you up, knows what you're passionate about, sharing that vision and moving forward, okay, from a place of harmony. Because people are going to, believe it or not, respect you more when you don't give up the things that you should not ever let go of, such as your values, your truth, your self worth, those are things that are not deal breakers. Those are things that you keep guarded and safe within yourself. Okay, so I hope that part made sense. There's 2 more cards that I chose with this. And the first, from the Archangel Oracle cards by Doreen Virtue. The first is healthy lifestyle. And that card, it says, eat a healthful diet, get adequate sleep, exercise, and regularly for optimal health. I've said the last while I've started a new routine, and it's my intention each day to do this routine. I was off a little bit today because I had to get up earlier and drop somebody off somewhere. So it kind of took me outside of my routine, but I made sure that once I was back from what I had to do, that I picked up what I would have done in the morning. That's compromise. So I can compromise and say, yes, I can take you at this time. I can pick up this stuff at that time, but I'm not going to compromise my routine that I need for my soul. My morning exercises are super important to me because they do get the vortexes, our chakras, really cleared and moving, and gets us pumped up. And prayer has always been important to me. So whether it be prayer, and I do prayer, and then I do meditation. So I do all of those things. And so I make sure that every single day I do those. So I can sometimes switch the times. I would prefer to do it in the morning, but I can compromise. So I actually just kind of tie those 2 together. So it's remembering to keep that lifestyle that is healthy. So, that you're getting enough sleep, that you're eating well. It's, I was talking to, because I had to go into work today, and I was talking to my receptionist, and she was telling me that we were talking about eating, and she said, my daughter and I ate, we buy those big, huge bags of, maybe not that big, Lay's potato chips. And she said, by the end of the day, we realized that we'd eat a bag and a half of chips. And so that's not good. I prefer not to buy these big, huge bags because to me, they're just temptation. And if, I don't need to eat them all, knowing that that's something that had been an issue at one point. So why bother? So either I don't buy them at all, or I buy, just a small amount so that I'm only eating a small amount. So if that makes sense, but make sure you're getting all fully rounded, that you're getting your exercise, that you're, aligning yourself with your intentions for the days, and that you're eating healthy, you're putting into your body that which energizes and lifts you up. Also part of a healthy lifestyle may include, I have a journal. I write in my journal usually in the middle of the night. And so however that is that you release what it is that you need to say, just for me, because I spend quite a bit of time alone during this pandemic. So I really need to go to my journal to get my thoughts out. And so that's part now of my healthy routine. It keeps me healthy. So whatever it is that keeps you healthy, then move towards that. Okay, so the second card from Dream Virtues is Clairaudience. And this is about messages from Spirit. And if this rings true to you, it may ring true to yourself. To some people, it may not. To everybody, but I would kind of step off the ladder and say, you know what, give it a chance, because we all really have gifts that we can, to some degree, hear, see, or feel spirit around us. This is really talking about hearing, and it's Archangel Zadkiel, and Zadkiel is one of my guides. And the message reads that notice the loving guidance that you hear inside your mind or from other people, from other places. And it's almost sort of what happens is you're somewhere and maybe a song comes on and it's like, oh, and some message comes to you, if that makes any sense. That's kind of how it happens with me. I see a lot of visions, so I'll be sitting there and all of a sudden, zoom, a vision will come past, will just go through my head, and I'll have to stop, but just to become really aware of it. But at this time, because this is so much talking about relationships, about give and take, I believe that Spirit is helping you. So be open to that. Be open to the messages that you're hearing so that you know that you are on the right path. And that's probably mostly the message that they're actually bringing to you. And if you're not, they may just well be pushing you along the way so that get back on track, so to speak. Okay, so listen for any sounds around you or little whispers, or just take note. Okay, so now we go into the piles, and so it's pile 1, the blue stone, pile 2, the brown stone, and pile 3, the pink stone. Okay, so we will start. We're going to start with pile 1, the blue stone, and we'll see what messages that we get. And I'm going to start with I'm using the Mystic Tarot, and then some advice from the shamans, and then this other deck again, which I'll tell you that after shuffling it, that card popped up again. If you've been following me, you'll notice that card almost comes daily for me. So pile number 1. Okay, so pile number 1, the first card that comes up is the Four of Swords. The Four of Swords is all about making decisions, and it really reverts back to what we were talking about. So because this is about what's blocking, oh my gosh, what's blocking us at this time, you're not stepping back to ask yourself. The answers are within you. And some people can go around and ask everybody else, but really not take any advice from anybody. So Spirit is saying, step back, quiet, like zip it kind of thing, and start listening within. And interesting that I've not noticed this before, but that the swords are pointed out, not at, so that you can pick up a decision, but just sit there and you will be guided. You will be guided. Your inner guidance system wants to work for you. So allow it to work for you. All right? It knows why. It knows why. And sometimes we don't have to know why. We just have to do. Okay? So this isn't about knowing why, but it's just knowing that Spirit is going to guide you in the direction you need to go in. Okay? Wow. Next card is the High Priestess. So pile number 3, my assumption is that this is more towards women, and the High Priestess is so committed to trusting in her intuition. So as we're looking at blocks, really get to know your intuition again, knowing the difference between the fear and your intuition. Our intuition is not fear-based. It may tell us that we should not do something, but it's not fear-based. It is a knowing. That's, as much as I can describe it, it is just a plain and simple. It's right there. It says no, yes, and doesn't have any rhyme or reason or excuses. It just gives you an answer and you follow it. So as you're going within yourself and you're hearing the message, the blocks were you not listening to those message and not trusting your intuition. But perhaps it's because you didn't understand what your intuition was. So it's time to understand your intuition better. Okay, so from the Shaman's Oracle, hang on. We have pick 2 to clarify. These who we have on our, along with us, this part of the journey, is the first card is of the Spirit of Healing. So that says a lot, and it really, what it speaks to me and says is that you probably were very much aware of your intuition and really trusted yourself, your inner guidance. But along the way, there were either something happened or things that happened. And so you need to heal those aspects that stopped you from listening, from hearing your intuition. So spend some time healing and releasing and getting up close and personal with your intuition. And the second card that comes up is the card of the journeyer. All right, so this is your journey. It's not anybody else's. And I say that quite often, and because we've talked about the inner guidance system, this is your journey. Anyone else's decisions, they can have input, but it's your journey, and be 100% accountable and responsible. And if, like what happened to me, just because of the things that, had gone on for so long, I had become so fearful of making decisions. And I had never experienced that before because I'd always trusted my intuition. And so when I went into a panic mode about making a decision, which absolutely seems ridiculous, because I always tell people you can make a decision. If it's not the best decision, you can make another decision again. So just become, as the journeyer, know that you can ask other people, you can look towards other people, you can, look for clues, blah, 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 blah. But the answers are within you, and you are accountable to you. You're not accountable to somebody else. You're accountable to you and your decisions. So as the journeyer, saying, make your decisions and be truthful. Again, you can compromise on certain things, but don't give up your integrity, your values, and what's really important to you. And the final card that comes, wow, okay. And as we had talked prior about the illusions, this is the Dancer of Lies, is the third card in this. So that's very close to the illusions. What you're going to see is that there were so many things that were, for lack of better words, given to you, shown to you, that weren't truth. So many ways that people treated you that wasn't the truth, that there were lies. Everybody does what they need to do to survive. And perhaps you may find out that you did the same as well. And so it becomes a process of forgiveness, to move around and through and past all of those illusions, all of those lies, to get to the truth of what it is that you really, really, really want, where you want to go, and who you want to be. Okay, and so I'm just going to pick 2 from this deck that I don't know what the name is. And so the first card, okay, yeah. First card picked is Trust Your Decisions. March to the beat of your own heart. couldn't have said it any better. That's exactly what it is. Trust your decisions. That's what this is leading you towards, is to, you know, releasing those blocks so that you listen to your intuition, so you move forward in light of who you are as a person. Trust in your decisions. They are your decisions, and march to the beat of your own heart. Okay? The second card is a card of dreams. Think big. There are unseen forces that are ready to support your dreams. So don't forget to dream big. You may not have been allowed to. You may have been stopped and, you know, been told lies that, you know, you could never do that, or you could never be that. Well, maybe someone's jealous. I don't know, but they're your dreams. Pursue them. And that's what the whole first part was about, was grabbing a hold. And the final card is as well, because it's the card of action. The journey to find your lost self begins with one step. So it's taking action. It's taking action upon your dreams, trusting in your dreams, trusting in yourself, believing in yourself, and owning all of your decisions, because they are your decisions. Okay, so that was pile number 1. And so I thank you. And so pile number 2 is the brown stone. I just like saying brown stone. And so we will start by shuffling the deck. And what's blocking or burdening group number 2? The first card is the 3 of Pentacles. Okay, so the 3 of Pentacles is much about, wow, obviously it has to do with, Pentacles have to do with money, but it has to do with collecting. And it's, when I see this card, I see it very much about receiving rather than giving. And it's people wanting to give. So you may be blocked, not feeling, or feeling that you are not worthy of. And so it's really coming back into that place to know that you are deserving, because you've done work on yourself. And 3 is this number. 3 is a celebration number. And it's, so this is about people are going to offer to you for your services and that you deserve. Okay, that's just the message that I keep getting within that card for today. The second card that came up was the 9 of Wands. And the 9 of Wands is about emotions. It's about seeing the other side, you know, and trying to get there, but yet you're on this boat, and this boat is just crashing into the waves, and not knowing how to get there. But it also signifies the end of a cycle, so that you can move forward and you could reach the other side. And that all begins within your emotional balance. So, you know, just steer your ship in a different direction. And so along the lines of what you're, you know, what's holding you back, and that's that you are worthy enough, and that brings on this whole emotional challenge for you. And know that you can get over there if you just calm your emotions and take the action to get, you know, the correct action. It's like everything's over there, everything's over there. How do I get there? Well, slow down, know that you're worthy and deserving of it. Okay, so what's blocking you is you're blocking you, and you're not believing in yourself. So it's time to step up from that and start believing in yourself. So the guides that are with you at this time for pile number 2, the first one, wow. Okay, so this really is about, the first card is the spirit of destruction. And it doesn't mean there's a bunch of destruction going on, although it does in some sort of way. But what it says is that the spirit of destruction is with you, so that you know that sometimes we need to crash into this space, almost to fall apart so that we can bring us back together again. So it's like we have to get rid of all of this crap and start filling ourselves up with this worthiness, so that can, to some degree, being hitting rock bottom and understanding that you can now move up the ladder again. And it begins from that emotional place, and it also begins of understanding and believing in your self-worth. Oh, well, it's just kind of nice to know is that the next card is the Ancestor of Protection. And so as you take this journey, know that loved ones, past loved ones, that Spirit is with you, helping you along your journey, helping to keep you safe, helping to keep you healthy, helping you to, find the right way out, the right pathway, helping you to remember to really embrace who you are, to move forward, and that reminding you also that you had to break all that stuff down in order to bring new stuff into your life. And the third card is like the ending card, and it's the Ancestor of Exile. So you've got two ancestors that are with you. And the Ancestor of Exile it's not about, it's about opening your eyes to see how you have separated yourself from the pack. I had this conversation on Facebook with somebody yesterday, and saying that, there's a point, some people say, I don't have anybody to talk to, or nobody's there for me, or when this happened, and all that. And I said, I had a friend that was what she always said. However, she didn't want advice from anybody. She wanted to feel that, and that's her choice. But to say that nobody was there for her is inaccurate, because people were there and willing to help. So she rather set herself apart. So this card is asking you to look at that, to see how you have cut yourself off. You've shut yourself off from the community, and that could be family or, whomever, or cut yourself off from something that you really, truly want in your life. You want and you desire, that you deserve. And so, remembering that and owning it, filling yourself up with, positive, wonderful messages rather than self-doubt and, undeservingness, and moving forward in your life. So the last two cards, the first card that comes is wait. Honor your resistance. Sometimes no action is the best action of all. And that is very interesting, because with the Nine of Wands, and it's like going through this, great upheaval of, emotion. And sometimes what this is saying is that sometimes you just have to stop, just literally stop, and give it some time and allow everything to settle down. Like after storms, like if we lived on the water, and it was so beautiful, and I loved to watch the storms roll in, and I love to watch the waters, and it's almost like how angry it could be, and then it hit the rocks, and then it just flows back out again, and it just keeps flowing. But what we tend to do is grab onto it and hold onto it and keep it. We don't want to give it up. Why would we want to give it up? So give it up. So just wait a minute, and if they say if you wait 5 minutes, then the weather changes, and that's sometimes it's true. So perhaps right now, maybe just allow a little time to wait. It's very interesting. The final card is self-love. Self-love and self-acceptance are the ultimate acts of self-care. So we began with the feelings of unworthy, of of unworthiness. So this is allowing yourself that time to love yourself, to give yourself what's necessary in your life to move forward, knowing that you deserve all of these things. People have probably been giving you self-love, but you rejected it, and that's an exile. Sorry. And so and maybe that's why they're saying take a moment to wait and think, to just sit back and just be really calm and allow yourself to see different illusions, different scenarios, different things that have happened, knowing that you are protected from spirit. Okay, so the third pile, the final pile, is the card of the pink stone. Love the pink stone. And so we begin with the Mystic Tarot. Pile number 3, what's blocking and what do they need to release? Okay. Okay. So the Ten of Pentacles comes up in this card. So this is likely to be in regards to a family unit, and perhaps there are issues with, either there's issues within the family, or your dreams and thoughts and hopes of having all of this have not come into fruition, but it's been the most important thing to you. So there's a couple of scenarios that can really come from this. So I'm not going to go into all the scenarios. So you kind of have to maybe picking out what resonates for you. But it is about, it's more than just wanting this connection, this family, this all this love, but it's about creating families that stay together, that grow together, all of those things. They love together, they spend time together. You have to create this. It just isn't by chance. You have to create it. So this is you now looking forward and saying, you know what, that's what I really want. That's where my focus is. It's time to take action. And so I am going to create what I want. So put yourself in that space of aura, that energy inside yourself. Put yourself in this, joyful, be that person that you want the world to see. That if you are not in a relationship, that's bringing a relationship in so that you can connect. Okay, so see the part of yourself that may have been blocking this pathway. And if you are in a marriage now with children, it's really look at the different roles that everyone's playing and see how authentic everyone is being, and be the mentor of that show, be the leader within that, and because we learn best by example. Okay, so the second card, this is very interesting. Okay, the second card is the Two of Wands. Okay, so this is about making a choice. And in the background in the cave is what I consider the Hierophant, and who's the ultimate teacher. And the Hierophant is the opposite of the High Priestess. So there is a decision to be made, and you're looking for direction. And we went through in the first community part of the universal part of the reading to going within yourself. This card here is also reminding you that you really do have that Hierophant inside yourself to ask. You can go to somebody and maybe play it out and see where things could change, see where things may be able to heal, see, you know, what you truly want, and make the decision from a really clear place, from a place of clarity, and a place that you know is tied into the heart and your intuition, okay? So that's what that's about. And the next cards, we'll see which guides are with you at this time. The first card that comes is the Companion. So this is about a relationship or a family, and it's much about, I'm going to say, your soulmate, so to speak. I don't know if I showed you the card. This is the card of the Companion, and that's the person that, you know, you travel with. I call it the soulmate. In the deck, it's originally, it's meant something completely different, but I always make decks the way to read the way that they work for me and what I do. Anyway, so the Companion is making that choice, and maybe at this point there is a choice between two men or two women, or man and woman, whatever that is, but maybe there's a choice, a decision. And so going back to that place to know, so you may need to speak to somebody, and that's why the Hierophant is in there. So once you do speak to the Hierophant, and then go back to the universal part of the reading, and then go within, and you'll find the answer within. Okay, so because it's the Companion that's best suited for you, to you, that's who you want to choose. And so again, going back to not compromising, never compromise. Okay, your values, your truth. The next card is the Dancer of Promise. And so it's really quite a beautiful card with this, with pile number 3, because this is saying that, you know, life is like a dance, and there's, you know, there's waltzes, and there's Zumbas, there's different kinds of energies that that we can dance to. And so this is the dance of promise. So know that what you're asking, what you want, when you become honest, when you don't give up too much of what you want and rely on and really need, that's where the promise is. And so promise will come to you when allowed, when you ask. And so the final card is the Shaman of Sorrows. And so with the Shaman of Sorrows, it's that is, we all know what shamans are, and that's like, it's almost like the Hierophant. But the Shaman of Sorrows wants us in the position of giving up and releasing in order to build the better, the new. It means you may have to feel a little sadness, or a lot of sadness. You may need to sit in sorrow, but in the same respect, give yourself like a time limit of, you know, like, I just keep getting too many messages at this time. I'm getting this other message of, you know, don't sit in your sorrows. And then I get another message that's calling that says, you know, sit in your sorrows and release them, and make sure you're telling people. And so they're really coming fast and furious. So there's a lot of different ways of looking at the Shaman of Sorrow, but it's for you to learn, because shamans teach us. They teach us, they train us, they stand by us, they stick with us, then they let us go. So that once they believe that we've learned, they let us go on our own. And so they're wanting us to release the sorrow and not hang on to it, and let it go, so that you can move on with this sense of promise, with this companion that you so much want to be with. Okay, and so the final 2 cards, I say from the deck that I don't know what it is. Okay. So the first card is intent. So focus your energy. There's an amazing power in a strong intention. So really know what your intention is. You know, that's what this part of the journey for you is all about, is getting to know who you are, removing the blocks that are standing in your way, making decisions based on who you are and where you want to go and what you want. So setting that intention and focus on it. Focus your energy on that intention. And the final card that comes is the card of gratitude. And just reminding you, making sure you remember to say thank you and experience the joy of acknowledging others. So that could very much perhaps be in regards to being grateful for what you might be going from one life to another life, another phase of your life. And so be grateful for that first phase of your life. Give gratitude for everything that you've learned and how much you've grown. Acknowledging this, because it's really important as you move forward, because when we sit in gratitude, we magnify that in again and we bring in what we intend. So that's what that's so much about. Okay, so that's the today's readings. So thank you very much. If you like the reading, you can comment, you can like and subscribe, whichever you feel comfortable doing. Thank you very much. Namaste, many blessings and much love always to you, and have a great weekend.